I got an MT-09. So that funny looking thing over there, the one that sounds like it's only running on 3 cylinders, and believe it or not, it is actually only supposed to be running on 3 cylinders, is my Yamaha MT-09. Even the Americans finally agree that it is an MT and not an FZ, because it is indeed the master of torque and not a fantastic Zebra. But I'm guessing that you do want to know a thing or two about it, so why don't we run through those quickly? Or should we do a 20-minute motovlog? No, let's just do this. 2014 is the year. It's grey-ish. It's got beautifully blue wheels and some blue accents. An absolutely awful number plate bracket with a billboard announcing to the world what my license plate numbers are. The old shape headlight that I could take or leave. A chunky tail light that I've heard people criticize, but I actually quite like its bold statement. An odd number of headers resulting in this delicious noise. A stealth performance can. No, I haven't heard of them either, but it does have this carbon end cap. It's probably fake though. Antlers. It has better abs than I do. Got rid of that nonsense though on day one by taking the fuse out. A cute asymmetric gauge cluster that for some reason doesn't even bother my OCD. But it does challenge me to get my fuel consumption higher, and I appreciate that. But I think that is pretty much it. If there's anything that I've missed that you'd like to know, just ask me down in the comments and I'll try my best to reply to that. But why an MT-09? To be honest, I'm not really sure yet. They look cool in videos. I've always kind of had a thing for them. It is 6 years newer than the R6, which means that they are less old people problems. And if you're not 100% sold on the color and it doesn't really do anything for you, don't worry. You're not alone, and I've already taken it to the Photoshop workshop. The first thing I tried out was to get rid of the mirrors and that hideous number plate bracket, and it already looked better. And then I started to play around with a few color ideas. And even after a few rides, I'm not even sure that I like the bike yet. I mean, the noise is captivating and the torque is really addictive, but I think that the reason that I'm not 100% sold on it yet is because it's absolutely the total opposite of everything that the R6 was. For example, the R6 has 2 headlights, whereas the MT only has 1. The R6 has 4 cylinders, but the MT only has these 3. The R6 has precision engineered suspension that allows you to point it in any direction that you want to go and smooth out any bump in the road at 200 kilometers an hour without shaking its head. Whereas the MT is more like a waterbed. The R6 has absolutely stunning lines and beautiful colors on the fairings that let you put it just about anywhere and point a camera at just about any angle at it, and it still looks photogenic. But the MT is going to be a tricky one to get good photos with and to find flattering angles. The R6 has wind tunnel tested wind protection. The MT doesn't even have engine protection. I mean, how can you leave an engine sticking out like that? But that is exactly the appeal that I'm hoping that it offers. Something a little less serious. The MT can dart from light to light in the blink of an eye with its front wheel dangling above the ground. But the best part is that I'll be able to ride around and make these videos and search for photo locations without it screaming at me about overheating. It does definitely get hotter than I was expecting, but it deals with it a lot nicer than superbikes do. But some first impressions, basically this bike is odd. The riding position is odd. The suspension is odd. The note that exhaust pipe makes is odd. The handling, odd. Everything about it is just odd. But at the same time, you feel like it has immense character. You keep finding yourself dropping a few gears or rolling on to get that weird exhaust note to change slightly and make a bit of a different tone, because it's a catchy tune. Since the day that I got it, I keep finding new routes to places because I avoid long straight roads or highways. You just want to wind on. But for example, I'm not a big guy and this bike feels tiny underneath me. The reach is immensely short, even shorter than something like a Super Duke. And the seat height is so low that when I put a foot down, my knee is extremely bent. And that might be exactly what you expect, but everything is just so much more exaggerated than I expected. And that brings us to the sad part about getting a new bike. Saying goodbye to the old bike. The R6 unfortunately does have to go, and it has been the best bike that I've ever had, as you guys well know. And I'm pretty sure that most of you are going to be just as upset about me getting rid of it as I am. It's been perfect in any way, but it is time for a change. But anyway, this is not meant to be a review. I just wanted to keep you guys up to date with what is happening in my world of motorcycles. And you know what to do with the buttons that YouTube provides free of charge, and I will rev at you in the next video.